Good evening and welcome to Brands Hatch for this Classic Motorsport Hub presentation, the third round of the Classic Motorsport Hub BARC Formula Ford Championship, which will be the third part of the series. So about the slight technical difficulties, but we are indeed getting cars ready to go. We've got cars out on track currently for pre-meeting practice. We've got 5 cars in the server. So we'll be just getting the cars set and ready to go. We'll give you a quick guide as well of this Brands Hatch Indy circuit here at Forkham. So we've got a 1.2 mile course, 6 turns. We've got a 16 lap heat distance for both the heats, a 28 lap final as well. Plus, adding to that, at the start of the meeting, we're going to start with the traditional 10-minute qualifying session, which we saw in the previous 2 events at Croft and Alton Park. Now, I will start by apologising. We did miss the live coverage of Alton Park a couple of weeks ago due to an illness from the director, but that's just one of those things. It happens, and we'll hopefully be back on track this week as well. I apologise there for the slight miscommunication at the start of the broadcast. It does happen occasionally, but we are up and running now, I'm told, so we should be underway with the first official session of the day very shortly, which is going to be qualifying. At the moment, in practice, Joe Gillett leads the way in qualifying, car number 57. He is currently on a 58.492. We'll see if anyone can catch up him as the day goes on. And we're just waiting to see what's going to happen when we get underway with qualifying. We're just currently looking at Lucano Cuevas in the number 1 car. That is one of the Lolas, running in the Lola factory colours. He's currently running 3rd in practice on a 59.695. As he makes his way into Paddock Hill Bend now, just seeing how well he gets on. He's got around Paddock Hill. Oh, no, he hasn't. He's had a bit of a moment there and has gone off to the inside of Paddock Hill Bend. So it looked like you're locked up there going up Halewood Hill. But nonetheless, here's Owen Potter, number 28. Of course, was running very well at the Croft appearance at the start of the season until fuel problems hampered his appearance in the heat race. But like I say, I'm not entirely filled in on what happened at Croft, sadly, at Alton Park, sadly, but we'll be underway very shortly with qualifying. I'm told we've got about a minute to go until we are going to qualifying. We're just getting the final few moments of practice crammed in, and once that is all done, we'll be underway and racing. So a great night in prospect for you here at Brands Hatch. Up to 7 cars now in the service, so an extra couple of cars have turned up during the final few moments of practice, and hopefully we'll be in for a good night of racing here at Brands Hatch. We've just seen Joe Gillett go for a huge spin coming out of Clearways in the background of shot there. That was our first big moment of the night caught on stream anyway. Here's Owen Potter chucking it through Paddock Hill Bend. He's running 2nd place in the timing sheets on a 59.904. But his quickest lap overall is a 59.090. So we're just going to see what we get out of that. He's currently making his way through the first sector of the lap now. Just waiting to see what sort of lap time he picks up. Runs a bit wide there coming out of Graham Hill Bend onto the runoff areas. They go onto the Cooper Straight at the bottom of the course. So just a quick update on the championship standings as well whilst we've got a chance. Your current leader in the championship standings is David Saber, number 83, on a total of 36 points. Behind him is Owen Potter in 2nd place on 30 points. And then rounding at the top 3 is Pascal Makula on 28 points. The checkered flag is just going out on practice in the meantime, so we are just about ready to go racing. Well, qualifying anyway for the Formula Fords. Racing will come later on. But that's a quick look at your championship standings. 83 is leading from 2nd place, 28, and 3rd is number 3. That's your top 3 in the standings. So it's 2 British at the top with a German in 3rd. Joe Gillett is 4th place on 22, tied with Simon Witt also on 22. But I think Joe Gillett is there on countback. So we're just awaiting the cars. The green flag is in fact out on the circuit. That means qualifying is underway. We have got, looking at the timing screen, the live timing is saying we've got 15 minutes of qualifying ahead of us. So the first laps will start coming very shortly. All the cars now on their out laps, so no lap times to give you yet. Owen Potter seems to be leading the charge as Luciano Cuevas just letting Pascal Mikula through on the inside in the STP car. That one is a Lola T340 and he's nearly spun it there at Graham Hill Bend. There's David Saber in number 83, the championship leader is out there as well, car number 83. He is in a Merlin MK24 this evening. I'm hoping to see how well he gets on. He was running very well at Croft a couple of weeks back. Well, 4 weeks back, I should say, at this point in time. So we've got most of the cars coming out of Clearways now. Got one car going into Graham Hill Bend. That's the 6th place car. So that's Matthew Sibioni who's going through Graham Hill Bend now. He had 2 massive offs at Croft on the last time we were live streaming the Formula Fords. So here's the first 2 cars on flying laps coming into the Druids hairpin. Potter leads. Mikula is in 2nd place of these 2 as they come out of the hairpin at Druids. They come into Graham Hill Bend. We'll start to see the timing screens light up with times. Oh, a big slide there as Mikula had a bit of a swapper on coming out of Graham Hill Bend onto the Cooper Straight as they go left through McLaren and into the Surtees and Clearways complex at the end of the lap. So what's the lap time going to be? We'll find out. They've just gone over the 3rd timing beam and they're coming now to the start and finish line where the lap time will be confirmed. Here they come. Give it a few seconds for the live timing to update. So across the timeline for the first time, Owen Potter briefly went fastest, but Pascal Mikula's gone fastest with a 58.245, which is just over 0.2 quicker than Owen Potter. David Saber's fallen into 4th. Joe Gillett goes up to 5th, goes up to 2nd place rather. Everybody's getting lap times in so quickly they can't even keep up with them. Luciano Cuevas goes 5th place with a 1 minute 9.378, so I'm suspecting he may have had a spin because that doesn't look like it was a legitimate lap time. Matthew Sibioni's come through now. He goes across the line and goes into 4th place with the 1 minute 0.675. And Matthew Sibioni, as we say, that goes to a spin at Paddock Hill Bend. He's managed to recover it, so it was a half spin, thankfully. He didn't go off into the gravel trap where I would imagine you would get beached. We're waiting for 1 car to lap time. That's Agatoni Viona, one of our Italian drivers in number 92, the all-black car with the white stripe on the front. As we've got another purple lap going in from Pascal Mikula. He now goes fastest again with a 58.068. So some very, very rapid lap times being posted at the moment. The track is getting a little bit busy out there now with all 7 cars lapping. And we've got a fair few of them together on the track, most notably positions 5 and 7 of Matthew Sibioni and Akadoni Bivoni. In cars 2 and 92. They're going to come around to set some more lap times. We've got a car back into the pit lane. Owen Potter, number 3, has gone back. Number 28, so he's gone back to the pits as Bivioni goes through and goes up into 5th place and spins himself out of Paddock Hill Bend. Round goes the 92 car. And he's got stuck there. He's managed to escape back to the pits. He got stuck right on the racing line there briefly. Here's David Saber, number 83. Coasting around. I suspect he's lining himself up for another quick lap. I think he's just taken a lap to get out of traffic and he's just waiting for some clear track to arrive. He's put his foot down coming through Clearways, so I'd keep an eye on David Saber. This could be a very, very rapid lap. Joe Gillett has a personal best lap in the meanwhile as well of a 58.421 as Luciano Cuevas goes for his personal best with a 59.777. This over through Paddock Hill Bend, full commitment, got a car off the track in front of him there. Oh, he's run wide and he's going off into the barrier and bang, he's lost a wheel. David Saber's into the wall and he's actually on fire as they leave Paddock Hill Bend. A huge accident at turn 1. Potter went off in front of him as well. So we're just waiting to see what happens. That car's gone back to the pits now after some very heavy damage sustained at Paddock Hill Bend. A very easy thing to do. Lost the back end and it went straight on into the inner barrier down there. Very, very large impact. And Joe Gillett coming around to set another lap time. What's he going to get? Comes across the line. It's not quicker. In fact, it is quicker, I should say. His previous lap. He goes faster with a 58.144. So he's still second place. Cuevas goes quicker again with a 59.0. So that's what he's looking like at the moment at the front of the grid. So we're just waiting for a couple of cars to break the 1 minute barrier. So cars 92 and 2 are still over a minute. The rest of them have gone sub 1 minute at the moment. Here's Luciano Cuevas, sorry, in the number 340 car. The Castrol liveried Lola Works car. Sparks fly as they go through McLaren. So we're just going to see what he gets when he comes back to the timing line this time. What's going to come of the Italians' lap time? We'll find, so the Argentinians' lap time rather. Across the line he goes. It wasn't an improvement. It was a tenth slower than his previous best lap. So he has been out for 6 laps at the moment. He's done 1 pit stop, so he's gone back to the pits once. Still Mikula is your leader. He's currently got an advantage of 7/100ths of a second over Joe Gillett, sorry, in 57. Matthew Saboni's managed to break the 1 minute barrier with 59.442, making his way up into 6th place, dropping the Italian down into 7th place, who's currently still stuck there on a 1 minute .632. Got a very close action between David Saber and Joe Gillett, the quickest man from the Croft outing at the start of March. So just waiting to see what else is going to come out of this session. We've got 7.5 minutes there or thereabouts to keep going. So we're just about halfway through this qualifying session. Be a task there from Joe Gillett. Whether that was problems arising for him, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if he's still on the track. I'm looking at the track map and he is still going round. So I'm guessing he's kept it on the track. And speaking of keeping on the track, the 92 car has failed to do so. Then has gone wide and hit the barrier at Clearways. So a big moment there as we lose the 92 car back to the pit lane. Got a few more cars joining us in the pit. The 2 STP racing cars appear to be joining us out the pit lane there together. That'll be Saboni and Mikula. What order they're in, I'm not entirely sure at this point in time, because from the front they both look identical. So it looks like it's Mikula in front with Saboni in second. So those two have certainly separated themselves out now. So at the moment we've got 4 cars circulating according to the timing screen. Pascal Mikula, Joe Gillett, David Saber and Matthew Saboni are the ones currently doing laps. Saboni nearly goes for a spin at the bottom of Graham Hill Bend. There's Joe Gillett running wide and almost going down the Grand Prix circuit. He's pulled off to the side at Surtees. And massive slide for Mikula going through Clearways. That was very well held. That almost went down the pit lane. That was very, very close to being a second big accident to this qualifying session. We've already seen a nasty crash at the Paddock Hill Bend, and there might be another here. Mikula's run wide. He's going off into the gravel trap. He's hit the tyre barrier. The nose cone's fallen off. Well, there was some Ford advertising there, so maybe doing something for the sponsors of the series, I don't know. But Mikula locked up there going to Paddock Hill Bend, ran wide and went over the grass. He lets Joe Gillett round. He's outside at Druids. Gillett is still second place in the session. He had a bad previous lap of 1 minute 7, so I'm guessing he had problems as well. Of course, he pulled off the track at Clearways, didn't he? So that's where he lost that time. We've got Cuevas in front of him in 340. And Gillett has gone off again, this time at McLaren, which is an unusual place to go off. And he's crashed into the ambulance as well for good measure. So at least if you're going to crash into something, that's probably not a bad thing to crash into. So the session is ticking down. 5 minutes to go pretty much now. Your fastest is still Pascal Mikula by 7/100ths of a second over Owen Potter. Over Joe Gillett, rather, I should say. I apologise on that. Owen Potter is third. Best lap of the session for Matthew Saboni there as he goes quickest and goes for an almighty drift down Paddock Hill Bend. He saved it. Good save there, Matthew. I have to give you credit for that. And Mikula's gone round at Druids. Round goes the number 3 car off into the grass. So our provisional pole sitter's gone, and we'll lost another one as well. Where's that one gone off? That's on the exit of Druids. The Druids hairpin is becoming a very treacherous place indeed. That was the 92 car that went spinning on corner exit as Mikula went spinning on corner entry. So that could be a place to watch out for. Druids hairpin been very, very lively so far in this session. Paddock Hill Bend's been giving us some fairly interesting moments as well. Right, is anyone going to come out for a last thrush, I wonder, with just over 4 minutes of the session to go? Here comes Quavis back to the line. What's he going to do on this particular run? Looking at the times we've been waiting for his update. 59.876. Not his quickest lap of the day, but not a terrible lap either. David Saber's had a moment on the inside of Paddock Hill Bend, had a camera shot. He's just rejoining there. And Matthew Saboni locks it all the way up down Paddock Hill Bend. So he then got collected as well by Pascal Mikula. That would have been a rather interesting discussion. 2 teams colliding before the racing's even started. 3.5 minutes to go now. Here's David Saber. Took a couple of race wins at Croft at the start of the year. He's looking to try and repeat that form again today, I would imagine, as he comes through Surtees into Clearways. Mikula is following him, but I think Mikula, if he's on a lap, that will have been somewhat ruined by the spinning number 2 car that he confronted at Paddock Hill Bend at the start of the lap. Just checking his lap time here. Yes, Mikula's lap was a 1:05, so that certainly was not a lap that's to be counted. There was another one coming out of the pit lane as well. I think that may have been Matthew Saboni coming back out for another shot in his STP Lola, the South African driver. Our only driver here today that has come from the African continent. On board with David Saber coming through Graham Hill Bend, gets here a bit sideways. He's now making his way down the Cooper Straight towards the left-hander at McLaren. And then he'll get and chuck it right for Surtees, which then changes into Clearways when he joins back onto the Grand Prix circuit, which he's done so now. This is now Clearways, which is a long, never-ending right-hander, which comes back onto the, well, it's called the Brabham Straight, but it's not really a straight, as it doesn't even straighten out. But he's coming back to the start and finish line now. What's he going to do? Goes across the line with a 58.781, not his quickest lap. We've got 5 cars currently circulating with 1:45 to run. Mikula is still the provisional pole sitter for Heat 1. The provisional pole sitter for Heat 2 is Joe Gillett. As always, the heats will be split in half, so you'll have 1 heat of 4 cars, 1 heat of 3 cars today. The 4-car heat will be Heat 1, the 3-car heat will be Heat 2. We're on board now with the 57. That's Joe Gillett. Oh, he's gone wide and almost gone off at Paddock Hill Bend. Good recovery, I have to say that much. Most people probably would have binned it in the grass there, but he managed to hold on to it with an incredible 4-wheel lockup. He's managed to get himself back on course for Druids. And fastest, best lap of the session has come for Luciano Cuevas and David Saber both together there. So that was a 5th. Oh, and Matthew Saboni's gone quickest now as well. Oh, everyone's getting the quickest laps now at the end of the session. But naturally, of course, they will with the track grip bin. It's highest to Matthew Saboni, so he's fastest up of the race and gone off again at Paddock Hill Bend. So another big accident at Paddock. Here comes Joe Gillett, round to complete another lap. He's not improved in either of the first 2 sectors, so I imagine this will be another lap not to really shout about. Here he comes. Across the line it is going to be 59.576. That's nowhere near his best lap. But still the man to topple is Pascal Mikula. But in fairness, maybe Joker that's playing the game, if he's got less cars to compete with in heat race number 2 and he's just lost it at Druids and goes back to the pits. We've only got 2 cars out on track. Cars 340 and 92. Here's Quavis in the Castrol Lola. Coming up to Druids, runs a bit wide. He's missed the apex, I can tell you that much. That lap's probably a throwaway. The session is now at an end. The clock has struck 0. That means the checkered flag will be waved to anybody who's out on a lap. I think there's only 1 car left doing a lap at this point. That is Luciano Cuevas. He is your last car doing a lap. Whether it will be an improvement for him or not, we wait to find out. He's gone personal best in the first sector. Let's see what sector 2 is looking like for him. Just waiting to see. Personal best second sector as well. This could be a good lap for Cuevas. Maybe he can jump a couple of cars. I wonder. Here he comes back to the start-finish line underneath the Lucas Gantry, and across the line it is going to be. Or it wasn't quite a personal best lap as the final sector was a bit slower, but that concludes qualifying here at Brands Hatch. So your 2 pole sitters will be Pascal McCullough and Joe Gillett in cars 3 and 57. So we'll get a full rundown of the qualifying results for you in the very near future. But that is the end of a rather dramatic qualifying session for the Formula Fords here at Brands Hatch. We'll be back with racing very, very shortly. Heat race number 1 will be on track in the very near future. So we'll be back with you in just a few minutes' time here at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit.
This month you can go to McDonald's to check out the world's coolest cars. Not those cars, these cars. Or meet a bunch of cool new friends. Not those friends, these friends. Now kids can choose between a hip, hot, cool Barbie and Friends miniature with stylable hair or a tire-squealing, pavement-peeling new Hot Wheels car. One with each $1.99 hamburger Happy Meal you buy your kids. 8 of each to collect. Only at McDonald's. Not those McDonald's. This McDonald's.
You've made many friends on Thursday night. Now, meet Rachel.
It's like all of my life, everyone has always told me, you're a shoe, you're a shoe, you're a shoe, you're a shoe. What if I don't want to be a shoe? What if I want to be a purse, you know, or a hat? No, I don't want you to buy me a hat and say that I am a hat. It's a metaphor, Daddy.
You can see where you'd have trouble.
Friends, Thursdays this fall on NBC.
This week, TV Nation buys a royal title.
On your knees, buddy.
Will the Brits accept their new lord?
This card's good for 1 free drink.
TV Nation, NBC Tuesday.
The more you think about what getting an education gets you and what you miss getting hooked, the more you know that you really have no choice. And what do I mean by that? Well, you can do school or you can do drugs, but you really can't do both. Now, if you choose school, you get to go as far as your talents will take you. But if you choose drugs, you get to go nowhere and maybe get AIDS, get busted, even get killed in the bargain. So, you ask me, why didn't I say that in the first place? Why did I have to say it at all?
This advanced technology helps to diagnose arthritis. But to effectively relieve the minor pain of arthritis, use this, Advil. Advil contains the #1 doctor-prescribed ingredient in its class in non-prescription strength. Advil provides fast relief, and it works directly at the site of arthritis pain. And Advil is gentler on your stomach than aspirin. So for minor arthritis pain, trust Advil. Advil, advanced medicine.
We all know granola's great tasting, but there's another side to it. Fat. But Kellogg's low-fat granola has half the fat and all those big clumps of great taste. Kellogg's low-fat granola. For today's granola fans, great taste, half the fat.
Woodstock 94. The concert you've waited your whole life for.
To fight gum disease, Colgate Precision has 3 sets of bristles. One like a flat brush for the surface, another like a rippled brush to reach between, and a third designed like nothing else to sweep plaque from the gum line. Fighting gum disease takes precision.
If your bacon cheeseburger isn't flame broiled, fire it
Welcome to Burger King.
and get a new flame broiled
Bacon Mega Supreme?
The new Bacon Mega Supreme is a third pound of beef broiled over an open flame, and flame broiling beats frying 4-to-1. 2 patties smothered in hot, crispy bacon, melted cheese, lettuce, and tomato. So if it's fried, it ought to be fire. Get the new flame broiled Bacon Mega Supreme. More great taste for more great value. Only at Burger King.
NBC's Sunday Night Movie will return following these messages.
And now the Martin Short press conference continues.
Yes. Thank you. What's a tall drink of water like you doing with a name like Short?
That's good.
Any other questions?
Martin Short is coming to NBC Tuesdays this fall.
Welcome back to Brands Hatch. Before we get underway with our first race, just a bit of information about what's coming up in the near future here at the Classic Motorsport Hub. So our next event will be on Easter Sunday, the 17th of April, for the 1978 South African Grand Prix, live from Kyle Army, where we've got I believe a 70-lap Formula One race for in period 1978 machinery as part of the Classic Motorsport Hub Masters Trophy Series. So a very, very big event coming up here on Easter Sunday, which is in just a few days' time. There'll be qualifying as well taking place on Saturday night, so plenty to look forward to here this weekend. So we'll be on track very shortly with the Formula Fords with their next event of the day, which I believe is going to be their first heat. We're just waiting for cars to get sorted out. We've got 4 cars to do battle in the first race of the evening. So if you missed qualifying, Pascal Mikula set the timing sheets alight with the pole time, and he will start pole position for heat number 1. He's got David Saber, Luciano Cuevas, and Agitano Biviona, your other competitors in this one, around this very, very short, but very, very challenging, I must say, Brands Hatch Indy circuit. Just 1.2 miles in length, as previously mentioned, in the top of the programme. So we're just waiting for cars to get themselves out on the grid, and hopefully we get some on-track action very, very shortly. So just seeing who is where then. So the cars will be getting drawn onto the grid shortly. So the grid, I'll try and get to you as soon as we have it. But I can guarantee that Pascal Mikula's on pole from, I believe, David Saber. Alongside him on row 1. Then row 2 should be Luciano Cuevas. So yes, the grid I've just had confirmed to me now is Pascal Mikula pole position. Alongside him on the first row is David Saber. Then row 2 is Luciano Cuevas. And then it is going to be outside row number 2, or position number 4, if you will, is going to be of Agitano Biviona. There. So once you get to the grid for your numbers, row 1 is going to be cars 3 and 83. Then row 2 is going to be cars 1 and 92. So that's the grid for this first heat of the day. 16 laps as well of the track, I should also mention. The cars are now making their way to the grid. The lights will be coming on the gantry very, very shortly. We've already got 1 car down here on the grid, Pascal Mikula, Cuevas behind him. Then we've got Bivioni at the back of the, at the back of the grid. David Saber in there as well, waiting for the all clear from the gantry. And then we'll be underway in racing for 16 laps of Formula Ford race action. So the car's just holding on the grid. The staggered start as well. Second place is actually a long way back on the grid. The revs are rising in the pack. You can hear them. The lights are out and away we go. We're racing, and Pascal Mikula's got a great start from row 1, and David Saber's bogged down along with the Biviona car as well at the back of the grid, and Mikula's got the lead down towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time, and he will blast away into the early lead then. They've all gone through the first bend okay. We've got a good scrap going on between Cuevas and Saber for second. Saber looking to the inside at Druids hairpin. Can he get down the inside? He can indeed. As Cuevas locks up, Your leader's run a bit wide as well, past Mikula, and Saber's got through into second place in car 83. Quavis down to third. So Mikula comes through. Graham Hill-Bend is your leader for the first time. So what's going to happen here then? We're going to see if Saber can mount attack on Quavis here. These two seem to be having the best battle of the day so far. But Viviona is not too far behind either in the 92 car. They're all round clearways, I think, just about. They're into clearways now anyways. They come back towards the start-finish line of the Brabham Straight. It looks like Mikula is going to lead the first lap of the night. Across the line he comes. Yeah, he's your leader. Saber second place. Quavis third. Viviona is there as well in fourth. So they're all still circulating. No early dramas to speak of in the early stages. Into Druid's hairpin line astern. Lock up there from Quavis. Nearly runs wide. Almost goes off. He's managed to save it just about. So Mikula has got David Saber tucked into his rear wheel. Here he comes down the Cooper Straight. Mikula's gone wide into the grass. He's almost into the paddock and down on the inside. David Saber's taken the lead going down the Cooper Straight as they head into the left-handed McLaren. And I can guarantee Mikula will try and mount an attack at the very near future. I can guarantee you that as they come into clearways for the second time. And Mikula is still right on the rear tail lamp of the 83 car of David Saber. The two behind are also fairly close together by the looks of it. They come across the timeline this time. We'll see what the split time is between the 1-2. The 1-2 is only 0.3 of a second separating them as Saber's left the door a little bit open at Paddock Hill Bend, but Paddock Hill Bend is not really an ideal overtaking opportunity. They come to Druids. This is where the moves will be made. And down the inside because Mikula gets all squirrely there on the brakes. Nearly goes to the side at David Saber as Quavis has managed to hold off Viviona very, very much as well behind. Viviona's actually lost ground. And now Saber's, it's his turn to go sideways down Graham Hill Bend. That corner has been very, very lively as they go side by side down the Cooper Straight. Round the outside comes Mikula and McLaren. Has to tuck back in and he's only gone off at clearways. He's fighting the car. That's incredible driving style there from Mikula. Completely sideways. The Saber still keeps the lead. These three, well, these four, I should say, in fact, the whole field has stayed very compact in this race so far. They come through. So we are on to lap number 4 now. 3 laps have been completed of this race for the Formula Fords. Mikula is still trying to mount an attack on David Saber as they come up the Halewood Hill into Druid's hairpin once more. Saber has got the inside line there, wheels on the curb and everything, trying to keep position as well as possible. Saber is still challenging as well in the STP car. He's got the run out of Graham Hill. He's going to try and go around the outside again, going into McLaren. It didn't work for him last time. Whether the same will happen again this time. In fact, he got around the outside, sweeps around the outside of McLaren and takes the lead back. Saber's going to try and come back round the outside, round clearways. Can he do it? No, he's had to back out. He tried at first. He's had to back out for clearways. And it's now going to be the 1-2 have changed round as they come back to the start-finish line to start lap number 5. Quavis has dropped off them. Fastest lap there for Pascal Mikula as well. A 59.330. That's the quickest lap of the race, and he was battling with Saber as well that lap, but that just shows how quickly he is going. So coming out of Druids down the hill towards Graham Hill Bend. They turn left through this corner. It's one of the very few left-handers on the course. There's only this and McLaren, which are the only two left-handers on this Brands Hatch Indy circuit. And if you go into the Grand Prix later, there's only one more left-hander on that, and that's Dingledale corner at the end of the Grand Prix loop. And Saber's chucked it down the inside as they go through Surtees. He had to back out of it though. And onto clearways. Mikula still holds the lead, but it may be very short-lived as Saber's pulled alongside by the pit lane entry as they come down the Brabham Straight side by side, jostling for position. Who's going to lead the timing line this time round? Across the timing line, let's see what the split time was. It was a dead heat according to the timing screen that time, so Saber's got the inside of Paddock Hill Bend there. That's the advantage. Oh, they bang wheels and they've both gone sideways. Mikula's nearly off, but they both survived it. Up to Druids, and your leader is going to be David Saber at Druids Hairpin. So brilliant stuff at the front here between these two. They were having a good fight as well, if I remember rightly, at Croft last time I was in attendance. So great to see these two still fighting so hard through Graham Hill Bend, which is a much more of a sweeping corner than it is in today's sense. It was made more into a 90-degree left in real life rather than a sweeper. And McCullough's got to the inside, and McClammy stuck on the outside for Surtees and Clearways. This could favour Sabre massively, unless McCullough can try and get the run round the outside sprint car style. We'll see if he can. A bit squirrely there on the outside line, but he's still there and thereabouts. The side-by-side back to the timeline again. We're going to have another dead heat on the timing line. Let's have a look. The answer to that question is yes, we are. We've got another dead heat on the timing line. And McCullough's gone one. He's gone round. Has he held it? Yes, he has. What a recovery from Pascal McCullough. Nearly went for a humongous accident down there and somehow saved it. Sabre has managed to break away at the front now as they went round, and the split time will certainly be up and up and up again. And we've got a car in the pits. We've lost Biviona, sorry, has gone. So we've lost Agatino Biviona. So where he's gone to, I don't know. Whether he's crashed, I don't know. But he's not on track anymore. So if you excuse the rather common catchphrase, then there were three. So David Sabre, your leader. Pascal McCullough has made up ground again after his brown trouser moment at Paddock Hill Bend on the previous circulation of the course. So coming around this time to complete lap number 7. So it's halfway next time by. Halfway next time by. Fastest lap for David Sabre as Pascal McCullough again chucks it sideways through Paddock Hill Bend. Well, this is getting very, very lively at the front again. Cuevas is just sat back thinking, if these two get it wrong, I've got to win here. Of course, you've got to remember, of course, the finishing position doesn't necessarily matter in these heat races. It's all about your total race time. Because the race times from the two heats will be combined together to give us the final grid. As McCullough chucks it sideways through Graham Hill Bend. It's occurring to me now at this point that maybe sideways is the way to drive these cars. Sparks fly again, and McCullough's chucked it down the inside at Surtees, has the nose shot well and truly off, I think we should say there. He's going to be halfway as they come to the start-finish line this time by. And McCullough's car is still squirreling around, really struggling for grip is that car. He's in the slipstream now of David Sabre as they come down towards Paddock Hill Bend. And McCullough's looking to the inside at Paddock Hill. Can he get down the inside? Sabre gives him the track position, but Sabre's going to try the cutback, I would imagine, on the way up to Druids. Or not maybe the case. Sabre's too far back to mount an attack at Druids. McCullough runs a tad wide. I think he was just making sure that Sabre wasn't there before he turned in. Obviously, if there's wheel-to-wheel contact in Formula Ford, it's normally catastrophic. It ends with a car doing a rather spectacular flip end-over-end or a barrel. And McCullough's spun at Graham Hill Bend. He's gone. So the leader is gone on the Cooper Straight. So David Sabre's now your leader. Luciano Cuevas goes through for second place. So how the tables have turned. McCullough goes to the back of the grid after just one mistake down at Graham Hill Bend. So around goes the German. So your new race leader, well, I say new, he's led it before, but David Sabre now retakes the lead in his number 83 Merlin-built car. And I would imagine if Pascal McCullough's tyres weren't already a little bit worse for wear, they will be no better now after that spin over on the Cooper Straight. So Cuevas is now second place in car 340, the Works Lola, in the beautiful Castrol livery. That livery looks good in any car you put it on. There's a very nice car here in the UK that races in the Blue Oval Saloon Series run by the BARC, which is a lovely Ford Escort Mark II with the body kit on it. Absolutely stunning car. Unfortunately, that car rolled at Silverstone a few weeks ago, so it was looking a little bit worse for wear after that. But nonetheless, that's my opinion on the Castrol livery done with. Back to the race. We'll just see what's going to happen then. So David Sabre holds the fastest lap of the race with a 58.456. That's fairly easy. 456, it's numerical order. Pascal McCullough's going to have to make a comeback drive here because he is a long way down now. They come through to complete lap number 10. So we are now into double figures lap-wise of this race. Fastest lap of the, well, not fastest lap of this. Oh, there we go. Fastest lap, in fact, has been set by Pascal McCullough. I should save myself now. Thank you. It was a personal best lap, I should say, for Cuevas that time, around a 58.967, which I believe is actually quicker than his time he set in qualifying. So fair play to him there. Managed to get some pace down the race. And yes, Pastor McCulley did say fastest lap of the race. And in fact, the fastest lap of the day so far. A 58.0. That's the quickest lap time we've seen all day. Nobody's been able to break the 58 barrier yet, but looking at that lap time, it could very well be possible to do so. Sabre still leads it though, coming out of clearways. You can see the deformed tyre barrier there on the exit of the corner. I wonder what the FAA would have to say about that one. So down the main straight comes David Sabre, down the Brabham Straight. He'll start to slam on the brakes now for Paddock Hill Bend, which you just have to chuck the car in and hope for the best. Paddock Hill Bend, a very, very nasty corner. As you probably, if you follow YouTube and to any extent and see the Brands Hatch videos, people can make good half-hour compilations just one race weekend just at Paddock Hill Bend from cars going off there. And if they don't go off, they're normally going down it completely sideways, as a few drivers have very kindly displayed to us so far in both this heat race and qualifying. And I did indeed see a few do it in practice earlier on before the meeting started. So it's looking very good for David Sabre here, heading on for a heat race victory here. Looking to see if he can get himself on pole position for the grand final later on in the programme. Of course, in the grand final, scoring points tonight, as with every Formula Ford round this season. Makes his way past the scoreboard into Paddock Hill Bend. We're riding on board with him now. Another fastest lap of the race. And yep, somebody has now broken the 58 second barrier, as we just had a 57.696 posted by Pascal Makula, as you do. So he's now gone for the fastest lap of the day so far, and he's right on the back end now of Quavis. This could be a good battle for second place as the laps very, very rapidly tick by in this first Formula Ford race of the day. We're just looking at Quavis in front of us here as we ride on board with Pascal Makula. If you're wondering what the numbering brackets is next to the name on the car, that is the ping that the driver is getting off their internet connection. That's not their race number changing every 5 minutes, honest. As here comes the Charger Makula on the back of Quavis. Is he going to make a move down to Paddock Hill Bend, or will he get it done before that? The slipstreaming down the Brabham Straight. Makula goes to the outside of Paddock Hill Bend. Surely not round the outside. No, Quavis blocks the outside line. Makula's going to try the inside line now as they go down to the bottom and make their way up the Halewood Hill into Druid's Hairpin. Watch Druid's Hairpin. This could be interesting. Makula hung on the outside once more by Quavis. Quavis runs a bit wide on corner exit. It looks like McKeown's going to try and go in the outside, possibly. He's going to cut to the inside. Here we go. Graham Hill Bend. Oh, they touch! Oh, dearie me. And they both, by some sheer miracle, survive it. McKeown's car went into the air very briefly, did a slight wheel stand as they came through Graham Hill Bend. So Quavis holds the position for now, despite a bit of contact. Coming through now into clearways. Makula is still tucked under the gearbox of that Lola in front of him. It's a battle of the Lolas for second place. The Merlin has run away at the front into Paddock Hill Bend again. Makula backs off. 14 laps have been completed. Oh, Quavis is going sideways and he held it. He has indeed, but Makula sweeps around the outside to take the position, or not, as Quavis is shoving his way back. And he said there's more contact with Druids. Goodness me, it's getting more like stock car racing between these two. Makula's now made the move stick, and Quavis will try and retaliate, I'm sure. But some very elbows out racing now, which is unusual for Formula Ford. It's normally sort of like the Trans Am cars we'd see that sort of manoeuvres happening, or a very, very good example of that would be the touring cars, which are very much known for their elbows out tactics. So the last lap board is at the ready for the 83 car of David Sabre, who's following this battle here, not had much screen time. So he's coming through to complete his, penultimate lap. He's now on to his final lap of racing. So Pascal Makula is second. The one lap board is out now. Quavis is still there in third. But the question is, have these two screwed themselves over on the grid by fighting so hard they may have cost themselves some valuable track position. And Quavis is going around the outside of McCulloch Druids. I wonder if these two are sustaining damage, because they have made a few connections on the track. Quavis has got the inside line for Graham Hill Ben, which could favour him. Oh, there's more contact, and McCulloch's going wide. Is McCulloch off the track? He's held it somehow. What has got into these two? Now, Quavis is back alongside on the Cooper Straight. David Sabre is a bit out of place at this point. Quavis has now got back to second place. McCulloch's down to third as they come into clearways for the final time. The checkered flag is at the ready in the meanwhile, I should point out, for David Sabre, who I think has already gone and won the race. Checkered flag now goes down on Sabre. McCulloch's backed off. Has he run out of fuel, I wonder? Quavis takes second place. Is there any engine noise from the McCulloch car? Let's listen. There's a little bit. I think the fuel tank may have just run dry there. McCulloch gets third place, but I think he may run out of fuel. So the result as I saw it, subject to final confirmation, is first David Sabre in car 83. Second, Luciano Quavis in car number 340. And then third place was Pascal McCulloch in car number 3. The Bivioni car number 92 was a non-finisher. So once again, just the numbers for you. First, 83. Second, 340. And third was number 3. That's all subject to final confirmation, of course. There may be some amendments made to that result in the very near future. But that will round out heat number 1 of the night. And we'll be back with you very, very shortly with heat number 2 of the day for the Formula Ford. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We're back with you very shortly.
If your bacon cheeseburger isn't flame broiled, fire it.
Welcome to Burger King.
And get a new flame broiled
Bacon Mega Supreme?
The new Bacon Mega Supreme is a third pound of beef broiled over an open flame. And flame broiling beats frying 4-to-1. 2 patties smothered in hot, crispy bacon, melted cheese, lettuce, and tomato. So if it's fried, it ought to be fired. Get the new flame broiled Bacon Mega Supreme. More great taste for more great value. Only at Burger King.
NBC's Sunday Night Movie will return following these messages.
And now the Martin Short press conference continues.
Yes. Thank you. What's a tall drink of water like you doing with a name like Short?
That's good.
Any other questions?
Martin Short is coming to NBC Tuesdays this fall.
That Friday feeling. You just can't keep it in.
That gators, they're picking my eyeballs all morning. And I'm hankering for something bigger than Lady Liberty on a chip. And no darn chicken lip. You catch my drift?
Drifter, the 2-fingered chocolate bar with caramel and wafer.
Passes the triple-A overhead manifold sprocket.
Big English, boy.
Do you catch my drift?
Now I go into cleaning to earn an honest bonus. When I'm cleaning windows. When I'm cleaning windows.
This is Earl, and this is his particularly wholesome ham sandwich. At the moment, it contains this much calcium. Now let's add a Kraft cheese slice. Very good. Now the sandwich contains this much calcium, more than double the amount. Any questions?
What's calcium?
Kraft cheese slices are calci-yummy.
There is only one cheese that you can squeeze. Stays fresh and delicious, so every squeeze will please. With the goodness of protein, you can eat it with ease, because this cheese tubes and tubes. Squeezy, squeezy tubes. Remela cheese spreads. It also squeezes.
Italiani.
Barci. Barci. Delicious praline and roast hazelnuts, wrapped in fine milk chocolate.
Senti, per fortuna che l'hai lasciato però, eh.
Cappuccino.
Almeno questo è generoso, guarda.
Il conto. Oh, blimey.
Barci, irresistibly Italian.
Is that the time? Oh, your hair is lovely, dear. That'll be the bridesmaids.
Come on, love. Look, I've even got your old favorites.
Delicious flakes of corn drenched in ice-cold milk. Kellogg's Corn Flakes. How could you have forgotten how good they taste?
Steve's got a lot to live up to, Dad.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes, too good to be forgotten.
Le Piador, dry white wine.
A very warm welcome back to Brands Hatch. And once again, just before we get into more information on upcoming race meetings here at the Classic Motorsport Hub. So the next one we're going to talk about now is going to be on April 24th. That's a week on Sunday, for anybody wondering, for round 5 of the SCCA Trans Am Championship for the Brainerd 210 at the Brainerd Raceway in America. Once again, the Trans Am cars, the big American muscle cars in the TA1 class, along with a couple of TA2 cars, which are slightly more low-powered cars, so the touring cars, Alfa Romeos and Cortinas and the like. So that's what's going to come up next, of course, for the Trans Am Series, round 5 of their series. Well, no TA2 cars, I've just been told. I apologise for that one, but yes, that's going to be the next outing for the Trans Am cars. That's going to be at Brainerd Raceway in the United States. But that's coming up now in the very near future is heat number 2 for the Formula Fords. So this is the second heat race of the day. We're going to see what is going to happen on this one. So we've got 3 cars to do battle in this race. We've got, who have we got out there? We've got Joe Gillett, Owen Potter and Matthew Saboni are the 3 competitors, in this one. So we've just got one going off the track there, as we've just seen Matthew Cibione go off the track there in his Lola. That one again in the STP livery, the teammate car to Pascal Mikula, who we saw out in the previous race. So just seeing what's going to happen as we get the grid all formed up. We're just waiting for everybody to be ready to go. And then we'll be racing very, very shortly. So still just watching Matthew Cibione going round. He's currently not got a lap time on the charts. Well, nobody has the mate. He's currently going round on one. I believe that could be an outlap for him. No, he's actually a timed lap, but I'm not sure he's going to be allowed to finish it. We're going to see if he decides to finish it or not. The race director was encouraging him not to. There we go. The race director was encouraging him not to finish it, and unlike some racing drivers, Matthew's actually paid attention to the race director. So he makes his way back to the pit lane, as we get ready to go racing here with race number 2 of the afternoon here at Brands Hatch. This is going to be heat number 2 for the Formula Fords. So just waiting for the all clear. I'll try and get the confirmed grid to you for this race as well, like I did the previous one. So a slightly smaller entry of cars for this one as well. The racing should just be as brutal as it was in the first one, I would hope, as well. So the grid is as follows then. So row number 1 is going to be pole position, 57, Joe Gillett. Behind him, alongside on the first row as well, is going to be Owen Potter in number 28. So an all-British front row. And then it's going to be Matthew Sabbione at the back of the grid in position number 3. So 2 Brits and 1 South African on track for this race. So not the most international lineup of the day so far. We are now ready to go racing. All the cars are on the grid. This is going to be 16 laps of the track once again. It's time for the Formula Fords. So the revs start to rise on the grid, and the green flag goes down. Away we go, rundaround racing once again with Formula Ford's heat number 2 of the afternoon. So down towards turn 1 for the first time, and Gillett's got the outside line. Sabbione shoving his nose probably where it's not wanted. Oh, they nearly bang wheels again, but they've all survived. Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Owen Potter is third place now, trying to make a dive on the inside of the South African. Gillett's run wide in 57. Sabbione's on the inside at the moment as well. They're side by side, and Sabbione's lagged backwards. That's going to cause problems as Potter goes storming through for a second. There's the contact, and Sabbione's almost round. They survive it just about. They've gone side by side down the Cooper Straight, and somehow they both survive it. That could have been a very, very nasty moment if those two had indeed gone tangling off into the grass as it looked like they were going to for a moment or two, as they come around to complete a lap number 1. Everyone is unscathed so far. Potter is there in second place now, and he's actually pulling away from Sabbione. Let's see if he can do more laps than he could at Croft. I'll tell you that now for nothing is he had a bit of an incident with the same tyre barrier twice at Croft. So they've completed the first lap. Everyone is still circulating, probably for the best, as we can't really afford to lose any. As I said at Croft, there weren't many to start with. Into Drury Tapping for the second time. Gillett leads the way. It's still a British 1-2. The home fans have got something to shout about at the moment. So we're just getting some information that maybe Matthew's car could have got some slight suspension damage. It would not be too untoward if he had, because there was a bit of side-on-side contact, and if there's anybody who's got any experience in motor racing will know that open-wheeled cars do not appreciate wheel banging, because it does normally give them some damage that can certainly hinder their performance for the foreseeable future. But Joe Gillett has sort of checked out of the hotel at this point and has run away at the front. Partner is doing his best to chase him down then, which is somewhat a positive. And, well, I say that Potter has gone quickest that lap, so that suggests that Potter's got the foot down and he's trying to catch up to the back of the fellow countryman. Of course, they're in a very, very quick driver in Formula Ford, as we said at Croft, and he knows this Brands Hatch circuit as well as anybody else does on our factor. Every single series he runs here normally has an appearance here at Brands Hatch in one form or another. The only one I can think of he didn't run at Brands Hatch is probably the DTM cars, but as they were mainly revolved around the German tracks. As they go left and they go right into the McLaren Surtees complex, and they'll come out of that back onto Clearways. Of course, Clearways has been used for all manner of things over the years. It was originally used that, you can see the access road just with the pit lane. There was an oval here at Brands Hatch for a number of years that used to run stock car and banger racing of all things. You wouldn't think about that as to be held at the same place as the European Grand Prix, but it was held here, and it was very, very popular as well for the amount of times it ran. And they're now coming up into Drury's Hairpin, which was very much part of the rallycross circuit here at Brands Hatch. Of course, another thing that Brands Hatch, of course, did dabble with for a few years was indeed rallycross. And Potter's run wide. He's off onto the grass at Graham Hill Bend. There wasn't about rallycross, but he didn't need to demonstrate too much. So we're just getting everyone sorted out around the circuit. A bit more sparks flying from the under tray of Potter's car as they make their way out of clearways. Of course, the first of the Gold Star races here at the Class Motorsport Hub was, of course, for rallycross cars here at the Brands Hatch circuit. Of course, the rallycross circuit would actually veer off a bit earlier to the right at Paddock Hill Bend, and there was sort of a chicane that went down the runoff area of Paddock Hill Bend. I'll get the words out eventually. Of course, that's a line that has been adopted by many people over the years, unintentionally, of course. But Joe Gillett has lost a bit of time going through Paddock Hill Bend that time around, so Potter is closing in on the race leader. He goes wide again at Graham Hill Bend, tips in a row, so whether that's Potter's preferred line through there is a different question. I don't know, but they're coming round to complete another lap. They're going to come through to tick off lap number 5 this time around. And a bit more information of that race I've just been told is Joe Gillett actually won that race in the Metro 6R4. Now, of course, the Metro 6R4s were very, very successful rally cars in Group B. Of course, when they got outlawed in rallying, they went off to do rallycross here at places like Brands Hatch and elsewhere around Europe mainly. And, of course, David Sabre obviously taking the win there. And I think we've just lost David Sabre, have we? Sorry, Joe Gillett, I should say, not David Sabre. Yes, he has. He went off there to Paddock Hill Bend, so he went on to the rallycross circuits. Goodness me. So Sabone's managed to catch up to Joe Gillett. I don't know if we can get a replay or not of Joe Gillett's off there. It would be nice to see what happened to him. Here we go. Right, QR director's listening to me, which makes a change. Not many people do listen. And there you go. Just got the back end round at Paddock Hill Bend. Locked up. Didn't quite go round. He managed to save it, but Owen Potter says thanks very much and takes the lead. So Joe Gillett is now down to second place, but he didn't lose third place, more importantly, to Matthew Saboni. It's still a British 1-2. So a very, very scary moment there for Joe Gillett. Thankfully not doing what somebody else did in qualifying, going on and binning it into the inner wall there at Paddock Hill Bend. I think it was Pascal Mikula that went off in a big way in qualifying down there. Nobody else has repeated his fate. You can see the black marks on the road still from where Gillett has clearly thought, oh, this is not going all my own way, and locking it all up and getting stopped before going off the track. Owen Potter, your leader, though. But we all know what happened last time Owen was leading a race at Croft. The car ran out of fuel. But it looks like Pascal McCull has taken that fate today. But Owen Potter's been a good reminder that fuel is a required part of a motor vehicle to keep it running. So coming round to complete another lap, it is still Owen Potter, your race leader. Joe Gillett is there as well in second place in the 57 car. Matthew Saboni is still running there in third. Just really trying to play catch up to these two. Fastest lap has gone in for Owen Potter. What lap time has he got this time? 58.481. Not the quickest lap time we've seen all day. I'm not sure he was going to get close to Pascal Mikula's 57-second lap time from earlier on in the day. But you never know. It's motor racing. Anything can happen, and normally does. If anybody's ever watched the Havoc crash tapes made by Duke Video from Brands Hatch, you'll know it can all go wrong in the blink of an eye. That corner there, inside Graham Hill Bend, that had a truck go up and over the barrier at that point back in the 80s. So back on track with the race. There's not a lot really to discuss at this point in time, apart from the fact that Joe Gillett appears to have caught Owen Potter a little bit, actually, in that first and second sectors of the lap. Whether that will come to anything in the closing laps, we'll wait to find out. It's going to be halfway next time by, as they come across the start and the finish line in towards Paddock Hill Bend. And this time Joe Gillett gets the fastest lap of the race. What's he got? A 57.989. They're getting closer and closer to Pascal Mikula's lap time in heat number 1. Going into Druid's hairpin, looking like is going to be, again, Potter has still got that lead, but it's narrowed down now since they got past to Graham Hill Bend last time around, as they come back into the left-hander McLaren. If you went even further left there, that would take you onto the Grand Prix circuit here at Brands Hatch, which is Incidentally, a 2.4-mile layout. So the Grand Prix layout adds on perfectly twice as much distance to the lap as the Indy circuit. So both sides of the track here at Brands Hatch are both the same length, which is quite amazing, really. Of course, Brands Hatch originated itself, of course, in the 1930s as a sort of a motocross track, as scrambling as we've known in the days, with sort of a dirt track which took a rough outline of the track we see today. But of course, the days of motocross here at Brands Hatch are long gone. As with many places in the UK, a lot of the tracks have had motocross in the past, but there aren't many that keep going with it. In fact, I can't really think of any that have. But Joe Gillett is your leader still. But I think on the subject of motocross, I know for a few years, very recently, Mallory Park had a motocross circuit. That was not connected to the actual race circuit at Mallory Park at all. The Potter is closing in bit by bit on Joe Gillett. And yeah, it's certainly looking like these two have actually swapped places. So what have I missed? Owen Potter's actually got behind Joe Gillett. I've been too busy going on about other things. I've actually missed a lead change. Only I could do it in a 3-car race. So Gillett is your leader. Potter is second place, so he must have gone off somewhere. Matthew Sponey is there in third. So it's certainly looking like this race has been the tamer of the two today. Just going to see if I can find out what has happened to Potter. At the moment, I can't at the moment, so I'll try and get some information on that as and when we know. So it will be lap number 12 when they come around this time. So we are in double figures laps-wise again. So this is going to be lap number 11 they're about to come and tick off on the timing sheets. So thank God for live timing as well. I'm always going to say this is a luxury to have. We don't normally have these when I'm doing the oval racing, which is very nice to have indeed. The field is spread out now around the raceway. And to be honest, there's not a lot going on at the moment. So Gillett is still leader into Druid's hairpin. He's got round Druids, I think, fairly safely. Potter is still really just trying to play catch-up at this point. There's not a lot he can do to keep going with him. So it looks like Potter apparently lost the lead about 3 laps ago, from what I've been told. What actually happened to him? I don't know, he's gone off the track as well, but well, I've got a bit of downtime. I'm just going to introduce Pascal McCullough to the box like I did at Croft. So good evening, Pascal.
Hello there. Quite a tame race, as you already said. What I can tell you is that, well, yeah, Owen did, I think, make a mistake a few laps ago and lost the lead to Joe, which, well, it's not as, well, I wouldn't call it embarrassing, but as awkward as it was last time at Croft when he ran out of fuel a lap before the finish. So here's to hoping that he actually makes it at the finish this time.
Yes, that's very much the case. It certainly looks like Gillett's now got the nose ahead. He seems to be getting some rather consistent lap times in now. He's pulling a lead away. The last timing beam said it was 2.6 seconds the advantage between the two of them. So whether Potter can make that up in the last few laps, I don't know. We're coming through to tick off lap number 13 this time around. So we are in the closing stages now of this race. Potter's gone a bit sideways.
He just sideways, yeah. So I was looking at the last times of them. Joe is currently crossing the line for 57.975, fastest lap of this heat. And Owen 58.288, so he lost a bit of time. And Joe, I don't know, I kind of want to tell him to slow down, because he's getting awfully close to, you know,
he's still
close to that time that I did earlier.
Still 0.3 away from that lap time set in the first heat. That one was, I don't know quite where that lap time came from, but we'll see.
I'll call it red mist.
Yeah, that would be one way to say it. The only thing Owen's seeing that's red at the moment is the car that's 3 seconds up the road from him. So, coming round now to start the penultimate lap this time, I believe. Yep,
and
two
also
now.
exactly 2 to go. And at the same time, Matthew Sibagnoni is about 12 seconds back. You speculated earlier on that he may have suspension damage. I'm looking at him at his onboard right now. He is struggling under acceleration. That thing is really tripping away from him there under acceleration. He may actually have a bit of damage, but it doesn't matter. As long as he finishes, he'll have an acceptable starting position in the final race, which, remember, is the only race that actually, pays the bucks.
Yes, so that could be an interesting one. Looking at it so far, the inside line has been the place to start tonight, but that is partly down to the fact of how offset the grid slots are. The cars on the outside seem to be put a lot further back on the track than I was expected to be. I know Potter's spurt.
Ah.
So I don't know if we can see a replay of that or not, but Owen Potter's gone around on the exit of McLaren. I'll run board with him now. What's going to happen?
So he takes this. Oh, he went on the grass and then just lost it there. Okay. That happens.
Yep, so the back end just stepped away from the British driver there. Nearly went up the Grand Prix circuit instead. But Joe Gillett, that means, has now got...
Owen is off again. Owen is off again. And, well, he's got all 4 wheels on his car, so he can continue. But look at who's behind him. Hello there.
Yeah, I should also point out, whilst this has all been going on, we're on the final lap of the race.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Gillett's got a massive lead of 12 seconds at this point, so he's not getting caught unless he bins it himself at clearways. But I very much doubt that, as I don't think, apart from that spin at Paddock Hill Bend, Joe Gillett's not put a foot wrong in this race so far. So
he's coming around the final corner now.
Second.
He's coming around the final corner now. There he is.
So the checker flag is at the ready for him. He's going to go up and down on the 57 car. Joe Gillett takes another race win. Owen Potter drifts it out of clearways to get him across the line for second place. What that's going to do to his grid position, I have no idea. That could have been catastrophic. So he gets second place, and then Matthew Saboni, who had a relatively clean race, has managed to cross the line in third. I think he was about the only one that didn't have any problems in that one. He crossed the line in third. He was a fair way back, though. He was 2.3 seconds behind Owen Potter, and therefore 11.9 seconds back from Joe Gillett. But the results, as I can tell, are Joe Gillett was first, second Owen Potter, and third Matthew Saboni. So once again, just the numbers for you. First 57, second 28, and third number 2. Right, so we're just going to take a quick break once again. I'll be back with you very, very shortly with what is going to be tonight's grand final for the Formula Ford, the main event of the evening.
Sometimes you're just not yourself. Oasis contains no gas or fizz, but its combination of real fruit juice and pure natural spring water gets you back to your old self.
Who taught you to drive, you wally? Cheers, mate. Oh, my shoulders, I tell you, they're giving me chips. Steve!
Oasis, open port, be yourself once more.
Just help yourself to John Smith's. To its drum, just say the word and it is yours. Just help yourself to the flavor in his heart. Your lips can open up the door.
There's something completely new in the pub. John Smith's Extra Smooth Bitter. Pure silk in a glass. So, you still don't need gimmicks.
When there's no getting over that rainbow, when the smallest of dreams won't come true, I can't take all the madness the world has to give, but I won't last a day without you.
That's better. That's deadly.
Have a break.
millions of Kit Kats with this special wrapper, win you a free Burger King burger instantly, or let you buy one and get one free. Have a bigger break. Have a Kit Kat.
Bachelor's Cuppa Soup granules dissolve completely, so even if your film has an extremely sloppy ending, your Cuppa Soup won't.
Psst, Mums! Let's set the record straight about Kellogg's Rice Krispies.
Okay.
They're not just empty puffs of air.
No way!
Each one is made with a single grain of rice and have vitamin D, which helps build
bones.
They're not too sweet. Sounds good. Someone's coming. And you thought Kellogg's Rice Krispies would just snap, crackle and pop.
When you're tempted by something particularly tasty, a wee small voice usually says,
Naughty?
Well, McVitie's have had a brilliant new idea. Using all their baking know-how, they've come up with an altogether healthier approach. Go ahead. Baked corn and potato chips, fruity things, biscuits, fruit, chocolate and cheesecakes, up to 97% fat-free. So go ahead with McVitie's.
You have to go a long, long way to bake a better biscuit.
Between us guys, you eat Skittles, you expect a hit, right? Lenny and Larry juiced the first two with real juice. One tried to hide. Guess he didn't figure on Ollie and Sally. The undercurrents had the last word.
You never were one of ours, Benny.
Loose after scent of Skittles. Real fruit for a real hit.
New in '96, introducing the spacious three-door family runabout. Also, from McDonald's, this double hamburger for only 89 pence and this double cheeseburger for only 99 pence. But what did the ordinary public think? So there you have it. The new McDoubles from McDonald's. 8.5 grand less expensive than a 2-litre hatchback with alloy wheels. Ooh, and a sight tastier, too.
You grim wriggler!
Make a break for it with new Milky Way crispy rolls. A creamy white middle inside a crispy wafer covered in excellent Milky Way chocolate. You can even share one with your little sister. No, make a break for it with new Milky Way crispy rolls.
We come in peace. We come to drink your brains. Brains, S.A. A frighteningly good pint.
Low C, a full-strength beer. It can help slimming or weight control only as part of a controlled diet. What?
My heart goes out to the delicious like noodles. You'll like to leave that water. You cook them in 3 minutes. So everything dish.
Carling Premier. In a world that's losing its head, a lager that doesn't.
Whose idea was this, anyway? It's supposed to be a guys and chicks party.
I thought you said it was cocks and hens.
Yes, I know what you are, thank you.
Oh, that's nice. It's more,
We're not all going as chickens, are we?
Apart from the odd turkey.
Where's the girlfriend?
Oh, she chickened out. No, that's nice. It's more,
That's what I said. It's more...
That's changed, hasn't it?
So? More...
That's more,
It is, isn't it?
More,
Hello, welcome once again back to Brands Hatch here at the Classic Motorsport Hub for this BARC Formula Ford race meeting here at Brands Hatch. So the next meeting, of course, for these cars will be on April 28th in 2 weeks' time at Thruxton, which is a very, very high-speed circuit indeed for these little Formula Fords. A very, very high-speed track, as previously mentioned, and it is very much the spiritual home of the British Automobile Racing Club, as it is their mainstay track these days. But yep, that's the next Formula Ford outing, and that will be in 2 weeks' time on April 28th. That's another Thursday night session at Thruxton. Anyway, looking forward now, we're going to move on to tonight's grand final for the Formula Fords. This is the main race of the night. We're just getting the final few bits and pieces sorted for our drivers. We've got the 7-car grid published, although we are missing one at the moment. So the grid order will be as follows then. So row 1 will be Joe Gillett in car 57. Alongside him will be David Sabre in car 83. Then row 2 is going to be Owen Potter in car number 28 and Matthew Sabioni in car number 2. Then we've got Luciano Cravis on row 3. That is car number 1. And then Pascal Mikula on row number 3 as well in car number 3. We've got one car as well at the back of the grid. We've got Magatino Bivona. He is meant to be on row 4 in his own. He didn't finish the first race. He had an accident we didn't see. So we are just waiting to see if he's going to join us or not. He's the one we are waiting for. We've got another one that's just left the server as well. Whether that car's going to reappear as well is a different question. But at the moment, we're just awaiting the all clear from around the server, and then we'll be underway and racing for the final time tonight over a distance of 28 racing laps. So the longest race of the day so far, as Matthew Spain just puts a lovely move on David Sabre up at Druids. We're not meant to be racing yet, honest. It is only practice. So we're just waiting to see if we're going to get any more for any more. Incidentally, if there are any of you watching the stream that are racing, if you're not in the server, now would be a very good time to join it because, well, if you're not in the server, well, you're not going to be racing. Well, great side-by-side battle, meanwhile, going on as they go around clearways. Sabre's hung on the outside of Saboni as they come out of clearways. Just seeing what's happened. This is probably more entertainment than we had in the entirety of Heat 2, to be honest, these two in practice. As they're making their way down the Brabham Straight towards Paddock Hill Bend. Sabre looks inside, falls back into line. Maybe just wanting to force Saboni here to try and get a better lap. Oh, big slide there from Saboni. Has he held it? Well, just about. He's gone on the grass, so the groundskeeper will be very happy with him. And neither will Mr. Palmer, because he likes his grass to be in pristine condition around all these circuits. But I think put a bit of topsoil in it, it'll be all right come the spring. So David Sabre's got ahead of Matthew Saboni there. But nonetheless, they're not racing yet. We're just waiting for one or two more cars. It's Owen Potter, one of the ones we're waiting for to rejoin us. Perhaps he's gone to look for some extra fuel for his car, because he didn't seem to have any at Craft. So we'll see if he is going to rejoin us and actually finish the race in this one. Equally, Pascal Mikula could be told the same, as he didn't finish, well, he only just finished the first heat due to some fuel issues. But we're just looking at lap times in practice. Matthew Saboni is currently quickest with a 59.368, and whoa! And he's round. You know, I think I need to stop saying that Matthew Saboni's got a best lap, because as soon as he crashes at Paddock Hill Bend, I am noticing it. David Sabre's currently second place in the timing sheets with a 59.428. So we're just waiting to see if Owen Potter is going to re-emerge. I suspect Vioni is going to be an absentee from the lineup, as it was suspected after the first heat he probably wouldn't return. So it looks like we're actually going to be one car down. Right, okay. Two cars down, in fact. It looks like Owen Potter is also going to be an absentee from the line, which is a big shame, really, because he could have made a very exciting race amongst the top 4 if he'd been around to race, but as it stands, unfortunately not. So it's just going to be the final 5 to go into battle tonight. It's been a bit of a night of attrition, sadly, for the Formula Fords, who have lost 2 of them, one due to an accident and one due to unforeseen circumstances. So this will be, as I said earlier, the longest race today. This will be a 28-lapper for the Formula Fords. Just a shame we're missing 2 cars from the lineup. So we'll see how well we get on. Hopefully we get a good battle from the cars that are left to do battle. So Pascal Mikula is one that's going to be out of position here. I have to admit, he's at the back of the grid. He really should be higher up, I would assume, but obviously the way the qualifying format he's done for the Formula Fords is put him at the back of the grid, sadly. He obviously ended up battling a bit too hard in the first race. The second heat was, looking at the timing I was given, was considerably quicker than the second heat, than the first heat, I should say. But that was partly just down to the fact that in Heat 2, they were not really fighting as much. They just decided to sit in single file order for most of the race. There was a couple of moments for Potter and Gillett in that race, but nonetheless, it is what it is. So unfortunately, if you were in Heat number 2, well, rather fortunately, so if you're in Heat 2, you got a massive advantage for the final grid. Our director just pointed out that it's quite a nice, lovely blue sky here at Brands Hatch today, which is very rare. It's normally absolutely chucking it down with rain sideways. It always seems to be the case on the British Touring Car Championship visit Brands Hatch. So, just waiting to see how well we get on. So, we're still trying to rally up the troops, see if we're going to see if we can get any more cars, but looking like this might be what we've got, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Things do happen, which mean we do have a reduction in car numbers every now and then. So we've got Matthew Saboni coming out for a couple laps. I looks at it now in car number 2. A few more joining out as well, I think. No, in fact, it looks like everyone's just been reset back to the pits. So, places to watch in this race, I'd imagine. Paddock Hill Bend, as always, here at Brands Hatch, a very, very tricky corner. If you've been watching, if you watched the video on YouTube, you'll have seen a crash compilation from the British Racing Sports Car Club weekend just gone, with a couple of rather large accidents, particularly a notable one being a Peugeot 206 in the Track Attack series, going for a rather interesting moment. This is a Peugeot 206, it's probably the best place for us in its roof. So we're still not getting anybody gridded up yet. We may actually be about to get another car. Just going to double check the chat, see if anybody is making an appearance. Ah, brilliant. We've got one coming. So it looks like I got Agostinho Biviona coming to join us. The Italian driver. He had a crash in the first heat, but he seems to be able to get the car back in some sort of condition to race. We did have fears he may not come back, so he is on his way. He's been given the hurry up from the race director. Again, whether he pays attention to the hurry up from the race director is a different matter. So far, everyone's been rather cooperative tonight. So, just a waiting game, really, to see when this car's going to arrive. But the way we're going, it may arrive in time for the next round of the series at Thruxton in 2 weeks' time. And turning into the complications, my monitor now wants to turn off. There you go, found the remote control to fix it.
Oh, well. That's going to take a few minutes, for sure. Again.
I think we just
Or
got
did
him
he
now,
just join?
actually.
Oh, no, we got him now. You see, whenever I say it's going to take a few minutes, it's happening immediately. Thank me for it.
Well, thank you. I was running out of words to say there. There wasn't a lot else I could really say about anything else. Right. Okay, we've got the full complement of 6 cars here then. One non-starter this race will be Owen Potter, unfortunately, in car number 28. So he's not going out there to do battle for this one. So it's just the remaining few to go into battle this evening here at Brands Hatch. We'll be back underway racing shortly, just waiting for the final few preparations being made. Then we'll get the cars set to the grid. And once we've done that, it will be a matter of 30 seconds, and then it'll be lights out, and we're racing for the final time tonight here at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, here just outside Forcombe in Kent. So the cars now bringing themselves on the grid. Thank God I hear you all say. It's taken a while, but we are there and thereabouts now. And more amazingly, all 6 of them are on the grid. So Joe Gillett will head them off then. Well, it's a slightly depleted-looking field, should we say. A few gaps in the lineup. So the race will start to rise very shortly. Revs are rising, waiting for the lights to go out. And it's lights out. We're racing. Away we go. It's tonight's Formula Ford Grand Final. 28 laps of the raceway gets underway. So Joe Gillett to turn 1. Here comes Matthew Saboni down the inside. Chucks it on the inside. Doesn't quite have his nose where it needs to be to get alongside. He can't quite make a repeat of heat number 2. David Sabre has made some ground up now in 83. He's coming up to change the back of the 1-2 as they go round Druids for the first time. Out of Druids hairpin. Everyone has got round the first couple of bends. Okay, somebody got a bit forced off the track as they go round Graham Hill bend. Joe Gillett even lags backwards a slight bit there, but that's not affected the race order as of yet. Saboni is still there in second as they go through McLaren into Surtees. They come for the first time. Now, it'll be a miracle if they'll get around the first lap, to be honest. It's been a challenge to get around Paddock Hill Bend all afternoon. We've got somebody a bit slow at the back of the grid. There's the 340 car, was a bit slow coming through Clearways. The Lola entry of Luciano Cuevas from Argentina. Across the line they come in to complete the first lap. Saboni's seeing some immense pressure from David Sabre, who's looking in the outside of Paddock Hill Bend, but he can't make a move stick there. He's going to tuck underneath the gearbox and try for the... No, he's going to try the outside of Druid's hairpin. That's a brave move. Can he make the move stick? That's the more important question. Just looking at the timing screen. One car's not appearing on the timing screen, though it is, in fact, it is appearing on the timing screen. It was just hidden behind another car. Oh, Saboni, the huge slide through Graham Hill Bend. Absolutely superb stuff there. Managed to keep it on the straight and narrow at least. So Sabre's still there or thereabouts behind Saboni. This is bringing McCullough into the fight as well, who started, I would say, out of position in the number 3 car. He should have been much higher up the grid than what he was. And now got a 3-car train developing for the second position. This could get interesting. But it's not exactly what they want to be doing. They want to be catching Joe Gillett, who seems to be away into the sunset here at Brands Hatch this afternoon, as David Sabre's coming on the outside of Matthew Saboni at turn 1. He has to fall back into line there, and Saboni's gone sideways, Sabre's gone sideways, and Sabre's gone all the way around. He's gone. We've lost the 83 car. He's spun around. He's stuck on the inside of Graham of Paddock Hill Bend, and through come Viviona and the other car in there as well of name's escaping completely there. Unfortunately, Cuevas, there we go, got the name in the end. Those two seem to have got a good battle down the grid for 4th place, and now they've got the added spice of one of the quickest cars on the track behind them. They've got to try and make their way back through. It's an STP battle for 2nd place, so let's hope the two teammates don't do a Hamilton-Rosberg on each other. It would be rather amusing, though, if it was the case. So McCullough is underneath the rear wing gearbox of Saboni's car here as they come down the Brabham Straight. Fastest lap for Joe Gillett again, 58.520. And Saboni's running wide at Paddock Hill Bend. Here comes McCullough on the inside. They almost bang wheels. So I'm not quite sure where the engine cover's gone. Oh, they make contact. Look, there's contact. The teammates have collided. Saboni's run wide. He's managed to hold on to it. He's just going to make comments of where's his engine cover gone. Because he's not there anymore. Maybe that's some weight reduction, but the teammates nearly come to blows. What was I saying just a lap ago? Those two could have easily come to blows if they battled too hard, and well, point proven straight away. So, a great battle going on here between the 4th, 5th, and 6th place cars. I was pointing this out to the director, but he's pointed it out for himself already. So, Quavers has got a stable looking around his outside. Viviona is there as well, running in 4th. A good train developed here for 4th place. This could be a great battle to watch. As there goes on Quavers. Where's he going? Almost down the pit lane. Nobody's spun down the pit lane yet today, but I wouldn't put it past one of these drivers to do it later on as the day goes on. Quavers looks to the inside of Viviona. Oh, dear me. Quavers comes across the nose of Sabre there, nearly causing an accident. And, well, Sabre's deciding the rallycross circuit still exists and takes an interesting interpretation of Paddock Hill Bend. I've got a lock up in front of them, and almost round goes Viviona in the 92 car. That car is a Titan. I believe that's one of only 2 Titans here racing today. The other one has been by Joe Gillett, who's weighing on the front. He's got a 3.7 second advantage from McCullough, who's now managed to find his way into 2nd place. Got an overtake here, and McLaren, no. You're never going to make a move at McLaren unless you've got a car that's miles quicker. Quavers managed to hold the line there just enough to keep David Sabre at bay. David Sabre in the only Merlin-built car here today. On the most part, you'll find that a lot of these cars are Lolas. The vast majority of the field are Lolas today. I think there's 4 cars that have raced today that are Lolas. As out wide goes Quavers at turn 1, and Viviona nearly goes around in front of them at the bottom of Paddock Hill Bend. They just survive it. The battle between McCullough and Saboni has long since died down. They're no longer really fighting. It's this battle for 4th place is the main point of interest. I imagine what we're going to look at for most of the race. Viviona's doing a great job of holding these lot off, though. We've got, well, it's going to be 6 laps in the books very shortly, as it looks like the leader's been back to the start-finish line. And off onto the grass, nearly goes David Sabre, cuts the corner a little bit there. He's looking to the inside of Quavers at Surtees. Can't get down the inside at Surtees, of course, named after the legendary racing driver. Of course, as they make their way round to join us once again on the Brabham Straight. They're still slipstreaming each other. Line is stern. It's almost like the couple together. As Quavers has run wide, that's going to allow David Sabre down the inside, and Quavers is going off. No, he's held it. He almost got one wheel on the grass. If you've got one wheel on the grass there, that would have been a rather large pirouette, one would think. And off the track, Viviona's locked up and going right out wide, and Sabre's gone through for 4th place even, and he's now on the charge back towards the top 3. Matthew Saboni is 10 seconds up the road for David Sabre, which could be a little bit far-fetched, but we have got a lot of laps in this one, of course, to close the gaps. It only takes one mistake from the South African, and Sabre could be well and truly back in the action. Side by side into Surtees has contact, and Quavers is shoved out wide by Viviona. Those two are going right at it once again, hammer for tongues as they come out of clearways. And Viviona's got the nose out as they come down towards the start-finish line. We're just going to see how close they are when they cross the timing line. Quavers has got the nose ahead, in fact, pulls in front of Viviona before the start-finish line, so it's all gone well. And around the outside, there's more contact, and even more contact again. And they've both gone around. Round goes the Castrol car. They've both gone round, got 2 cars facing the wrong way at Paddock Hill Bend. 92 and 340 are both gone. Now, they were getting a little bit forceful there, should we say, and that was going to happen eventually. And that sort of took the, that sort of brought stock car racing back to Brantacha a few moments there, with people banging and crashing into each other, trying to move each other out of the way. And it was bound to happen those two were going to go around, and they did. So, I wonder if they've learnt the lesson now not to make contact. We'll find out. Joe Gillett goes for a fastest lap in the meantime. So he's been down Paddock Hill Bend. You can see in the background his nameplate went flying down the hill. So he's got half a lap on these two. And Viviona's going off. Oh, no, he's not saving that, is he? No, he's not. And there's an Armco barrier, and that's the end of the Italians race, I would think. That's the first time I've ever seen something the tyre barrier is there. He's got stuck behind what looks to be a Portaloo. And that's the nose cone and the front wheel gone. So I'm on the presumption that he's not coming back. So Quavers has now got the track all to himself. So that's one that I'm sure you never thought you'd see today. A Formula Ford car defeated by a porcelain. Right, David Saber, your leader. Not much going on around him at the moment. The closest to on the track is Pascal Mikula and Matthew Spain, who've just swapped places. So if we could try and pick them up. Oh, Pascal Mikula's gone. What happened there, I wonder? I wonder if we can get a replay of that one. They just swapped places. All right, here we go. Here's the replay. Coming through the left-hander at McLaren. He's got one wheel on the gas, and oh, he's gone at Surtees. Round goes the number 3 car. And here comes Matthew Saboni into shot. Gives a friendly wave on the way past and says, thanks so much for second place. I'll run away if you don't mind. So that means that Mikula's also lost ground to David Saber, who's gone through as well into third place on the comeback after he spun at Paddock Hill Bend in the early stages. Cuevas gets his personal best lap of the session, a 1 minute .025. As they come around then to tick off more laps. So I said Paddock Hill Bend was the place to watch today, but it certainly seems that this final has changed. Surtees is your place to look. This car's been going off left, right, and centre down there in this final. Mikula gets round Surtees cleanly this time, doesn't make a repeat of the previous lap. I sincerely hope this is not how this race ends there, because that was set to be a brilliant race between the 3 at the back and also Mikula and Saboni, but unfortunately driver errors died this race down a little bit. This could be a very, very tame end to the night. Heat 1 so far has only been race of the day, I'd say. The best with overall racing throughout. David Saber's away and got in third place now. He's not going to be challenged anytime soon, I very much doubt. There is a car just a bit up the road from these two. Matthew Saboni is about 9 seconds away from David Saber. Saber and Mikula closest to on track, but they're still roughly 3 seconds apart. But that could be closed up in the matter of a few laps. Joe Gillick's got a dominant lead, almost full length of the Brabham Straight away from Matthew Saboni in second place here. Matthew, thankfully, not bidding in the runoff area at the same bend twice tonight, like he did at Croft a few weeks back. David Saber's got his personal best lap of the race at the moment now, 58.516. Same goes for Pascal Mikula, 58.419. Joe Gillick's found himself in the 57 seconds, only a tenth off Pascal Mikula's best lap from heat number 1, which was a 57.696. He's a 57.731 at this point in time, is Joe Gillick, your race leader. Here's Matthew Saboni through the left-right complex of McLaren and Surtees. Two very famous names in the world of motor racing. Of course, McLaren more known now for their Formula One campaign and their road-going cars, as well as the various GT series entered in now, such as the International European GC Championship, which is coming to Brands Hatch here on May Day weekend. So if you're interested in GT stuff, April the 30th and May the 1st here at Brands Hatch, GT racing here. Two classes of GTs. You've got the European GT series along with the GT Cup promoted by Miss VR, along with some Caterham racing as well on that weekend. Of course, if you're into historic racing in the UK, tomorrow on Friday and also Easter Saturday, you've got Donington, the historic Formula One Masters Championship in attendance up there. As the field just make their way around this Brands Hatch circuit, Joe Gillick's the leader, dominant lead now, 19 seconds the advantage to Matthew Saboni rather. David Saber has closed in massively on Matthew Saboni, who may have had a spin, which would not be too unlikely. Another best set of laps for Saber and Mikula. They are really flying around the track now, and Saboni is going to have to start checking those mirrors. Whether he wants to check the mirrors is a different question, but he might have to avoid cutting somebody up here. And Saber is right on the back of the South African now. Cuevas, personal best lap for him as well in the meanwhile. This race is starting to come alive now. So it's halfway this time by. 14 laps done, 14 to go. Joe Gillett, your leader. Saboni and Sabre right together now for second place. You can see in the background, Pascal Mikula coming round clearways. This could be interesting. If these three can come together, this could be a great scrap for second place. This could be the battle we were robbed of earlier on for fourth place after there was some contact between Cuevas and Biviona. And, oh, someone's run wide. Matthew Saboni visited the grass at Paddock Hill Bend again. Here comes David Sabre on the inside, side by side into turn number 2 at the Druids hairpin. He's down the inside, and David Sabre's on the inside. Oh, they make contact and off the road. Almost goes Saboni. Has he kept it? He's on the inside for Graham Hillbone, which is important. And here comes David Sabre. There is a Formula Ford size gap there for Sabre, so he's going to try and use it. It's the side by side as they come to McLaren. If he can make a move at McLaren, he'll be doing very well indeed now. Saboni's wise, cuts the nose off Sabre as they make their way into Surtees and Clearways. Saboni is really having to push that car to stay ahead of the Brits. Pascal Mikula, if we go back to exterior shot, we'll see him right up against these two. He's only about a second off. It just shows how slow battling can be, particularly in a one-make series such as these Formula Ford 1600s. Already 600cc Ford engines in them, I should point out. Look at that, Pascal Mikula right with them. Here, this is the 3-car scrap we're looking for. It's Lola versus Merlin. It's a very international battle as well. We've got the United Kingdom, South Africa and Germany all fighting here. As it looks like they're going to run line astern to the left-hander at McLaren. Saboni and Sabre. Line astern. Mikula's there as well as in the 4th position. Jurgen doesn't realise what fun he's missing here, being out in front. 28 seconds out in front, I should be exact, which is, looking at the map, half a lap. Are they going to try going 3 wide at Paddock Hill Bend? That would be a brave move. Mikula's tucked underneath the rear gearbox of Sabre's car. Are they going to try 3 wide at Paddock Hill Bend? They'll be brave if they can. They've backed out of it. Sabre stuck on the outside. There's contact, and Mikula nearly spins the Sabre car around. Oh dear, this could be interesting at Paddock. Oh my goodness me. Pascal Mikula backed out that one rather widely. That could have been absolute chaos if they'd all gone into that bend together. That was very, very lucky indeed. Sabre is stuck on the inside line. Saboni's run wide, and Mikula has gone through and got both of them, in fact. So 2 for the price. 1 for Pascal Mikula. Goes down the inside of Sabre, then Saboni. Sabre got past Saboni. Sabre's now changing Mikula back. Saboni's in here as well. Saboni chucks it on the inside of Sabre. They almost bang wheels again, this time at Surtees. Great stuff from these Formula Fords. This is what we've come to see. Cars absolutely wheel to wheel, racing as hard as they can. Sabre is in the slipstream of Mikula. Saboni's been towed along by Sabre as well. And Mikula's gone really sideways. Sabre's gone even more. Sabre's gone again. He's spun off. Goodness me, out goes David Sabre. Got too much commitment into that bend. And that's the second time this race has gone off at Paddock Hill Bend. And, well, Matthew Saboni's managed to make his way through into 3rd place. That was a great bit of luck for the STP boys going through into positions 2 and 3. Right, with that, David Sabre's dropped back. So Matthew Saboni is through for 3rd. Pascal Mikula's running away at the head in 2nd place. Joe Gillett, still the leader. And now we're just going to see what's going to happen from here on out. I have to admit, we've got to a point now where the race has tamed down a little bit. And we're hopefully going to see what's going to happen very, very shortly. Of course, incidentally, after this, if you have got any more, well, if you wish to watch any more historic racing, don't forget that there is action on the Goodwood YouTube channel. Of course, from the members meeting held over the course of the weekend, some great stuff on there. And of course, you can also look back at previous Classic Motorsport Hub races as well here on R Factor, including our very, very lively outing from these cars 4 weeks ago, at Croft. And there will be footage hopefully posted of Alton Park in weeks to come, depending on whether we can organise getting the coverage done for them. Hewlett is just gone the chase now of Joe Gillespie. I think it's a bit of a lost cause, really, looking at the amount of time between the cars. Or not, maybe. The gap's gone down. Well, it's going back up again. I think the timing's going to be all excited there, thinking that Joe Gillespie may have lost some time, but it was not to be. Joe Gillespie must be mindful he'll be lapping Luciano Cuevas more than likely before the end of the race. Matthew Saboni and David Saber have closed up again. That looks a bit suspect for Saboni, though. Has his car run out of fuel, I wonder? I don't think he has, actually. He seems to be still going at a decent rate of knots. He goes across the timing line at the top of the hill. Purple sector just for passing Cooler there. In the first sector, Matthew Saboni's run wide. David Saber's got the licks. He's now licking his lips, thinking, free position here. And that could be the case very, very shortly. Here he comes down the Brabham Straight. Saboni using all the track and a bit more purple lap there for past McCullough. 57.612. That's the quickest lap of the day so far. Round the outside goes David Saber at Paddock Hill Bend. And sideways, almost going round, is Matthew Saboni. He survived it. He's locked up. He's hit Saber. Goodness me, are they both going to survive it? Yes, somehow they do. Well, my never. Somehow they survived that altercation. That should have probably been race over for both those cars, but the racing gods are certainly shining down on a few drivers today. There's limited recover moments that they really shouldn't be recovering, I say. Or maybe that's just the skill of the drivers. I don't know, but maybe these Formula Fords are more forgiving than we thought. And now McCool now Saboni, he's nearly gone off at Surtees, but he does go back to something that Pascal McCullough was saying to us at Croft about how these cars, compared to the Formula 5000 cars that were run last season, these are so much easier to save, and you can drive them sideways and off the road. Nearly goes to Saboni, going to pay the visit to the grandstand at Paddock Hill Bend, almost ending up on the M20, which is to the side of the grass field. Gillett is still the race leader. That's a given. 21 seconds is the advantage. Cooler is second place. He's 6 seconds to clear this battle we're looking at on the screen between Saber and Saboni. And Saboni's off, and Saboni's going round. Has he saved it? Just about. I thought David Saber was going as well there briefly. He had a moment in front of him. But Saboni saved it. Just about. I'm not sure he wants to do it again, though. That's the second car we've seen today. Was in this race, I should say, do something like that. Difference is Saboni saved it, and McCullough was unable to do so. McCullough is still ahead of Saboni in the race. Saber is certainly looking good for third at the moment in 83 car. Cuevas has been running very, very quietly at the moment in fifth place. He's not really been involved in much after he was wiped out by Biviona earlier on in the race at Paddock Hill Bend. Biviona himself coming to blows with a Portaloo down at Surtees, a line I never thought I'd ever say when doing commentary. Saboni chucks it sideways again. Maybe getting a little bit too brave with that car. Again with a load of T340s, that car. I look forward to seeing Saboni out later on, of course, this evening in the British Touring Cars at a different league. 1993 Spec Touring Cars. Running at the Alton Park Island Circuit. Everyone is spread out now around the track. They've all found their own little piece of tarmac to race with now. It just seems to be more or less a qualifying session again at this point. Joe Gillett was 4 seconds slower on his previous lap round, so whether he had a problem, I don't know. So it looks like lap-wise we are 24 laps in the books. We're on lap number 25. So not many more laps to run now. Just waiting to see what we're going to have to over, but it's 3 laps to go now for the race leader. Everybody's still on the lead lap that's still running. The closest to being lapped is Luciano Cuevas, who's currently running in 5th place. He's the only other car left circulating. But I do still wonder what would have happened if we had got Owen Potter out on track in this race, because he could have certainly given a challenge to a couple of the big boys at the front. But obviously it was not to be. Still great to see a decent number of Formula Fords out for this final. And hopefully we get more cars at Thruxton in 2 weeks' time. Of course, they will be back here at Brands Hatch later in the season with, I believe, another date here on the Indy circuit and another one up at the Grand Prix layout as well. It should be interesting to see the Grand Prix layout being used. So got just coming around there, David Saber, we're looking at 25 laps have been ticked off. So down the Cooper Straight goes the race leader of Joe Gillett. David Saber is the 3rd place car. There's coming through, going through shop brief. He's passing McCullough in 2nd place, the German driver. Had some success with the 2nd place at Croft, but the race was decided with the photo finish at the finish of the final on that occasion. Just checking the timing screen. The 4th place battle has closed up between Saboni and Cuevas. That's something to possibly say. We've got the lightweight Superleggera model making a return for Matthew Saboni. Now, what if you can get a replay of that? Because it looks like he's had an accident, and it's happened fairly late recently as well. Matthew Saboni's obviously had a problem somewhere along the line. Now, Cuevas is with him. They've got Joe Gillett catching them. David says just a personal best lap of the race with a 57.999. Just broke the 58-second barrier there, I think, David. Only just, though. 1,000th of a second. So... Okay, so we're just getting the conversation that we won't be able to get a replay of Matthew Saboni's incident, whatever it may have been. 1 lap this time by. The one lap board is in fact down now. And Saboni's gone sideways. Has he held it? Yes, he has. But Joe Gillett is on the final lap of the race now. You can see him in the background of shot there. And he's lost it. Has he gone? I didn't quite catch the end of that. Has he saved it? He has. He's still going. I thought we'd lost the leader on the final lap of the race there. This is a great battle going for 4th place now between Saboni and Cuevas. It's taken us to the end of the race to get a decent battle again. It's been a race really of 3 parts. A great battle at the start, a great battle in the halfway stage, and then a great battle in the closing laps. This may not be for the number 1 spot or indeed the podium, but it's still a battle on track nonetheless. The checkered flag has been prepared meanwhile from our start marsh on the home straight. Joe Gillett is coming forward to take another win in Formula Ford. 1 lap to go for these two are following. Checkered flag is up and down on Joe Gillett in the meanwhile. Cuevas runs a bit wide at Paddock Hill Bend. So it's between these two for 4th place. This is what we're going to keep focusing on. We'll have a look at the results later on, of course. But we need to get these two classified. We need to get all the cars down on the papers just to make sure they can all score points. I believe top 6 score points in Formula Ford, so they are guaranteed points if they keep running. Viviona, unfortunately, is a non-finisher after his smash earlier on at Clearways. So Saboni is going to lead Cuevas through the final few corners of the race. I don't think there's much more that can be said, really. I think Saboni secured himself for 4th place despite missing the nose cone, but as I said at Croft, they don't really mean much to these cars. Checkered flag is at the ready then, as Matthew Saboni will take 4th place in the lightweight Superleggera model, with Cuevas across the line there in 5th place, the final finisher. So we'll get a full result confirmed to you very, very shortly. A rather tame end to the day for the Formula Fords. Joe Gill finishing off his day with some donuts as the cars make their way back to the paddock, and we'll try and get a full result confirmed to you as and when we have it. But just getting everything checked through and double checked again. I don't think there's anything that he's investigating in that race, to be honest. I think the one car that did need investigating has promptly not finished, so it's all right. So results as I can see them. So first was Joe Gill, 1857. Second, Pascal McKeown, number 3. And third, David Saber in 83. Fourth, Matthew Sabodi is in number 2. And fifth place was the 340 of Luciana Cuevas. So once again, just the numbers for you. First, 57. Second, number 3. Fourth, 83. Fifth, number 2. And sixth was 340. Right, results confirmed for you. And that will round out our evening's racing here at the Classic Motorsport Hub for the BARC 1973 Formula Ford Championship. Don't forget to be back again, like we say, in 2 weeks' time at Thruxton. Same place, same time. And hopefully we'll have a few more cars in attendance for that meeting. So, on behalf of all of us here at the Classic Motorsport Hub, I'm going to sign off here and now because I understand we are pushed for time. And that was a very, very lively exchange for the Formula Fords. So we'll just go through the final few bits and pieces we have to do. Don't forget Masters Trophy here on Easter Sunday at Kyle Army, South African Grand Prix for the 1978 Formula One cars. That's coming up this weekend, so make sure you got a note in your eye for that. Don't forget as well, April 24th, so a week on Sunday, the SCCA Trans Am Championship at Brainerd Raceway for the Brainerd 210. And then we've got one more event as well, just to point out to you as well, I've already mentioned before, the Thruxton outing, round 4 for the BARC Formula Ford Championship here on April the 28th. And you'll have me back for that one as well, I can pretty much guarantee you as well. So that rounds out our evening here at Brands Hatch for good. Thank you very much all for your support this evening. Thank you to all the drivers for the support this evening. Great to see a decent field of Formula Ford. Some good racing, particularly in the first tee. And on behalf of all us here at the Cosmos World, thank you very much for your attendance, and we'll see you soon. Very short, and we'll see you soon. And it's a good night from all of us. Goodbye.